Hello, my name is Jezreel. I am the Spirit Baby Auntie, and today is day 30. Today is day 30 of the 75-day Spirit Baby devotional, and it's an honor to be here. So, I sneezes. I said sneezes because my husband just sneezed, and that feels important to, I guess, to talk about, but we don't really say bless you. I honor saying bless you when I'm out and about, just because I understand sneezes to be our family thing and not everybody's thing, but maybe that's a call of action to really take inventory of, traditions or things that have just always been, and then make a very conscious decision on what you want to keep going, what you want to keep passing on. Yeah. It's just a thought, and it makes me think of the Hierophant energy, like traditions and choosing your own traditions, choosing to walk your own individual path. That's just different than the people who did it before you. I feel like I was gonna say something before that, but I don't remember. But it is an honor to be here. Day 30. Yesterday was day 29, and if you did not catch yesterday's, definitely tune in to yesterday and all the other days. But yesterday was a very vulnerable day for me. A lot came up. I did enter into a new sisterhood portal, so a lot of purging has been taking place, especially when it comes to, just new shit. When you do new shit, there's a new version of you on the other side of it. So that's been that. Yeah. That just is. And in that purging energy, a lot of just throat chakra stuff has come up. I don't feel particularly sick, but I do feel discomfort in my throat. And I was talking to my husband about that today. Honoring being a survivor of just very unhealthy lifestyle stuff of my parents before me, of sexual assault and abuse, and living a pretty beautiful life on the other side of that darkness. Honoring it without victimizing myself has not been something that I'm well versed and practiced in, and it's a new thing for me. It's a new season of being with little self, being with my inner Ren, and I think that's why inner child healing hit so hard for me personally. And that was yesterday. Yesterday was a very, very vulnerable share. And it brought me to, because when I recorded it, half the video deleted. And I was just like, okay, wait a minute. Why is my story trying to be silenced, kind of thing? And I had to really be with what was shared is what was supposed to be shared, and what was deleted because of storage reasons was just for me to fully express and get out of my body, and just just say the things out loud, to have the channel and the channel be for me. And sometimes the things that you say out loud are a release, and our release released in front of this camera with the intent to share it with the world. And it ended up just being something that was with me and my altar space that's over here. And I'm grateful for that. And yeah. But afterwards, I posted it, and there was even like a notification from Facebook about some copyright issues, which was just so strange to me because it's just me talking, and I haven't had that message. This is way too many cards, Source. I know I'm just shuffling them, but that just seemed like a lot. How many is that? That's 4. Okay, Source said, but take them, and I'm gonna stop shuffling. I'm gonna leave it up like that. This is a new tarot deck. It's the Tarot of the Body. Anyway, yeah, so a copyright message came up while I was posting it. And I was just like, this is really making me feel so many more emotions. Like, it was making me feel even more emotional about it. There's like these internal thoughts of, oh, the people that had, you know, didn't want me to share my story to begin with, or felt like I shared it wrongly when I was younger, or who felt like I was lying, or just wanted me to suppress this truth. Somehow their energy was conflicting with my transmission and getting it out. And I really just had to be in that, because all in all, you know, power can only go to people that you allow to have power over you. And then it was really just a call of action to be with the sadness of having had experienced that, having had internalized suppressing my own experiences as woman, as human that's in this body, as a being of life. And that just is, I had to be in the sadness of that. And then it brought me to threads, which I made a thread about having had been, and I worded it like this or something like this. I don't remember it verbatim. I was being sexually abused from the ages of 8 through 12. Go lay down, my guys. Go. They're roughhousing outside the door, and he made my puppy. So I have a big dog and a little dog, Herc, Luna. And he made Luna cry. No. So I want them to go lay down. But I was being sexually abused from the age of 8 to 12. And I didn't talk about it at all, really, in the house or just during that season. Or it was just something that when I did get the chance to leave my parents' home, which was when I was like 19, or I moved out at 20, but when I graduated high school, anyway, I don't know. I vomited at the mouth everything that I had ever been experiencing, because I was spiraling. I feel like there was like a mark on my soul kind of feeling. And I remember spiraling and just vomiting at the mouth everything that I had ever experienced. I even typed it up and put it on a blog, and I remember family members reading it, family members having their own opinions on it, calling me a liar, using it as an excuse to defend the way I was showing up as a teenager, as a young woman who had not received any therapy or any assistance in healing at all. Anyway, I remember just not vocalizing it in the healthcare that I was receiving for my pregnancy. And you know, in the hospital, they ask you if you've ever been, you know, abused or any of the, whatever the questionnaires are. And I will always say no, even after I moved out of my parents' house and I lived 2,000 and something miles away. I just never included it or thought it to be worth discussing, or I didn't know how it would show up in my very physiological experience of pregnancy and birth. And on Threads, I mentioned how I just wasn't sure if I had been honest with my care team and I had received trauma-informed care, would that have changed the outcome of my birthing experience? And it was just really a call of action for it to be one. I believe that people who have survived and are living their lives as people, as the humans that they are, that it should be an open and honest discussion about the abuses that you have experienced, especially going through the journey of pregnancy, especially being someone that's going to carry life in your womb. Yes. Just if I had received trauma-informed care, would that have changed the outcome of my birth? When you've experienced that kind of trauma invasion of your body's, boundaries, your body remembers, especially your womb. And sometimes, well, just depending on the hormones that you experience while pregnant and the way pregnancy causes discomfort, it can cause discomfort. Not everybody experiences discomfort. It can trigger things that lie dormant. Your womb is the keeper of your stories, the keeper of your tales, of generations of tales. And when you go forth to have a baby, it's just there. And that was that. And like I said, I'm having this throat stuff and it just feels really related to finding my voice when it comes to being an advocate for women being in control of themselves, women having full autonomy, women being in their full sovereignty, women reclaiming pleasure in their body after an array of abuse, an array of self-abandonment, and an array and a myriad of overriding one's own internal compass. You have to stretch this, you have to open this. And I am someone in the process of, leaning into the call of bringing another baby earthside. And with that, and all of my full presence, my consciousness, your throat is deeply connected to your womb space. And that just is. Now, I pulled some tarot cards. And this tarot deck is the Body Tarot. And the first card that came out was the Ten of Waters. And my assumption is that it's the Cups deck. Just because that would be what I would think, because of water, So let me see. Okay, the Ten of Water is happiness, joy, and ease. I call this card the Happily Ever After card, as it gives an indication of a period of joy and happiness. It is a picture-perfect Christmas or a beautiful summer wedding. However, we all know that the world is in a flux and ever after is not forever. All families row all families row at Christmas, and there is always a drunk relation falling into the cake at weddings. I don't know what that means. If you can stay easygoing about the things that can and do go wrong at times, the end result may not be perfect. But this card says it will come pretty darn close. And the other card that came out on the same was the Seven of Wood. And the message at the bottom says liberation. So it's liberation of your happiness, freeing your happiness. And I was just talking about autonomy. So, you know, the channel was channeling. Wood, I believe, there are two. This deck is just very special because there are two suits that are dedicated to the Pentacles. And there are two, let me see where it's at. Okay, the minor arcana. Okay, so the wood deck represents, wood is swords. So it's the Seven of Swords. And in the other Pentacles deck, there are two different suits for Pentacles. And Pentacles is represented by metal and earth in this deck. Like I said, two separate ones. Right? This deck is fire. It's very new to me. So I'm assuming it's new to you. That's going to be my assumption. Okay, so we have liberation, happiness, the Seven of Wood, and waters. And that's when it's making me think of, like I was just talking about, sitting with the feelings after sharing myself in such a deep way, because that is a truth. That is something that has been a part of my life's work of healing. It had a huge effect on me. It's a primal wound. It's my father and my biological father, and I was also like a proclaimed daddy's girl. And yeah, it just really sucked, actually. And that's not like my full words of it, but it's what's coming out right now. So I have one, wow. Let me just lay it out. I have one major arcana card, 10 of Earth and 9 of Earth. So I have 10, 10, and 7, 7. So it's making me think of 7, 7, 7, and 7, 11. This is mostly Earth cards, so mostly Pentacles, mostly this manifestation of life. And as I was talking about yesterday, it is so beautiful to live in my manifestation of peace, of safety. I deserve it. So I have the 10 of Earth, the 7 of Earth, and the 9 of Earth. And the arteries is the High Priestess card. It's made me think about this red I got on. But I definitely want to read from the book for the 7 of Wood first. Excuse me. The 7 of Wood, which is liberation, solitude, and freedom. Those are the key words. Sometimes you need to do things in your own way. Remember I was talking about that high refined energy? Not everyone will understand, and some may even accuse you of not being a team player. Yet, you know why you dance to the beat of your own drum. The music is better. Don't feel like you have to conform to anyone else's expectations. In fact, sometimes being on your own schedule can liberate you enough to have really great life-changing ideas. You may have to return to the fold to convince others to buy into your idea, but inspiration strikes when you're on your own. That just feels like what I was talking about when I was able to really just, like I said, vomit at the mouth. When I look back, there's a little more tact that I could have used when it came to really sharing my story, um, sharing the experience, the internal dialogue that I had when it came to processing sexual abuse alone, processing sexual abuse in the shame. And it wasn't just my shame. I have the shame of the person who hurt me. I have the shame of my mom because she wasn't there to protect me or notice the signs or whatever else was going on, the shame of everyone around me, and then myself. And you know, but that version of self is what got me to who I am today. And that just is, yeah, so I'm gonna go to these birth cards, see what they're talking about. Okay, our lowest earth card is a 7. All right, so achievement, ambition, and striving. Have you ever undertaken a big project, one so big that at times you couldn't see the end of it at all? Something like a house renovation, a large acquisition, or a complex work campaign. When you finish, didn't it feel amazing to look back on it and see all that you had achieved in getting it done? Some will pause at this point and enjoy that feeling. Others will be tempted to tinker and continue on as if nothing were finished at all. Don't be the tinkerer. This is making me think of, I finally finished the ebook, and I do have to add a hyperlink so you can book your discovery call via the ebook. But I have started to feel self-conscious about it and thinking maybe I need to go back and edit a lot. And then it's also this feeling of just like I need to just post it and take some inspiration from younger me. I used to just be quote unquote impulsive, and when I would have an idea, I would just do and not think too much about it, not think about the consequences or if there were consequences. I was really moving off the internal motivation and not really waiting around for applause or waiting around to, receive feedback. I just was doing. And I think I've had so much experience and understanding that people provide feedback that it kind of slows me down with getting to the other side of projects. And it feels like I've just been in this season of flow, especially with this practice of being here every day. It's been 30 days. 30 days of consistently showing up to talk at my phone, to talk to you all, to be in this space together, to share myself. And that's a big deal for me. So 9 of Earth, the keywords are freedom, comfort, and beauty. We have 2 freedom cards. Come on. The arts are something precious to us all. If we did not have movies, theater, art, books, and music, the world would be a dull place to reside in. This card is superb for those worrying that they have to lose their artistic side in the pursuit of a wage that they can live on. It frees you up to pursue creativity, because benefactors and patrons are around the corner. This does not mean you can suddenly become extravagant in your spending, merely that your needs will be met. So it may be time to crack out those paints or that violin. Because there's a call of action of like, okay, so you're living in the manifestation of your life. And then what? What do you do over there? I think that's also just like a manifestation practice in general of what does it feel like to be that person? What does the person who's living your dream life, who's living the life that you desire, what does she do? What is she doing in a day? What does her schedule look like? Does she follow a schedule? What time does she get up? When she gets up, how does she spend her rising? How do you channel all your creativity? And the last card is Ten of Earth, which is wealth, opulence, and tradition. The Ten of Earth is a card of wealth and opulent success. However, it is also about sticking to tradition. So it may well be that whatever is considered the traditional profession for your family is the one where your fortune lies. This applies irrespective of whether your family are in a socially traditional profession, such as law or medicine or a bohemian artist, following their footsteps, either way for achievements galore. Once you achieve success, you shall also keep one eye on the future and how you can capitalize on your accomplishment. That is interesting thought, actually. Let me see something. So it does go over. So the Earth Pentacles represents money, property, financial health, abundance, and prosperity. And Metal Pentacles represents money from career, ambition, status, and inheritance. And on the bottom of the deck was the Three of Earth. I really shuffled these, but and it talks about teamwork. I'm gonna use the Muse Tarot deck to clarify the Ten of Earth. Some clarity. Anything else? No. The Eight of Emotion, the Seven of Inspirations, and the Page of Materials. We got Earth, Fire, and Water. I do come from a family of people who are just really creative. And they create the reality every step of the way, if I'm being honest. And that's really what I got from that, or just brought my awareness to me personally. Just because I'm also pretty rebellious when it comes to even considering doing anything that my family does. And a lot of it, now that I'm thinking about it, is just family stuff. Because nobody has a set profession. But then I'd be lying. Because a lot of my aunts are nurses and they're in the medical field. And I cannot see myself going that route. Just because, no. I don't like, no. However, I am a doula. I am the spirit baby auntie. I am a birth companion, and I will see myself in the hospital setting. I do see myself working alongside nurses, alongside midwives, especially midwives. Like, I feel as though I'm a midwife at my heart. truly, I really understand what it means to be with women. And that just is, and there is honor in your lineage. There's honor in the people that you come from. And I guess it's surprising sometimes the ways in which for me, I'm like my family of origin. Even in all of the emotional life of evolution, of choosing to be open and honest about the fullness of my experience without defaming anyone. I don't want to defame anybody. The duality of the hurt that I experience is the understanding that, in particular, for my mom, there's hurt that she's experienced. There's the things that she has found to have been normalized in her life experience. And that just is. And when they say that your parents do the best that they can do, it's a truth. Sometimes their best isn't the best, but it's their best. And that's when it comes into honoring what it means to heal, honoring what it means to be a new expression and breath within the line, the lineage itself, and the big shifts and changes that you are supposed to make with your existence. Truly. Especially as a parent, as a mother, as someone who plans to bring forth another descendant, because that descendant's journey is going to pick up wherever you left off. Honestly, I want my son to just understand and embody what it means to support women in every season of their life, through menstruation, to being pregnant, to conceiving, to birth, especially in the postpartum window, of looking at a woman who is forever changed, acknowledging that change. 333. When I edit this video, it won't be that, but I'm just gonna put it on the screen because maybe that's important. Good things come in threes. Maybe you're pregnant with triplets. Sorry, I just had to say that out loud. Yeah, so put your hands, grab those hands, let's warm them up. Okay, we're gonna put a hand on our heart and a hand on our womb. Thank you, self, for being here today. Thank you, womb, for holding me, for nourishing my creativity, for remembering, for giving my son life, for giving my son life, for shedding, and for all that you are. Thank you, heart, for loving, for leading me. Thank you for leading me to being in this space today. I'm grateful. I am grateful. So yes, if you yourself are looking to work with me and have me as your doula, my DMs are open. You can book your discovery call in my bio. And yeah, so much love. Until we meet again.